Gerald S. is grossly delusional and thought disordered. He is currently on the following medications: haloperidol, 32 milligrams daily; benztropine B, 4 milligrams daily.
Please sit down. How are you doing?
Not doing so hot. I think and feel as though people have called me here to electrocute me, judge me, put me in jail, or kill me, electrocute me because of some of the sins I've been in.
Is this a new feeling for you?
The main thing is don't get excited, but the thing is it's not a new feeling, no. I'm scared of people.
Must be very frightening for you, though. Feel like you're about to get killed.
I'm so scared I can tell you that picture's got a headache.
Can you tell me more about that? The picture has a headache? Could you?
You want to know?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when a sperm and an egg go together to make a baby, only one sperm goes up in the egg. And when they touch, there's 2 contact points that touch before the other 2. And then it's carried up into the egg. And when they fuse, it's like nuclear fusion, except it's human fusion. There's a mass loss of the proton. One heat abstraction goes up in the electron, spins around, comes back down into the proton to form the mind, and the mind can be reduced to 1 atom.
Jerry, in one patient at one time, shows almost every one of the major features of schizophrenia. His thinking is disorganized. The thoughts are loosely connected. He has formed delusional ideas. Some of those delusions are grandiose. Some of them are paranoid. He has disturbances in his mood. His mood is, in some cases, almost absent, and in other cases is totally inappropriate. And his behavior is disordered. It's unusual. He has mannerisms that are inexplicable. He has purposeless, aimless behavior around the ward. He's a textbook case. He combines all those things in one person.
At this point, what would you like us to do for you?
I would like you to get me off of cigarettes, get me dried out, cleaned up, so I can go home and get a job in a bakery and go to medical school.
I guess the way I think of schizophrenia is that schizophrenia is an illness. It's a total picture. It's not like a peculiarity of behavior. It's not as if somebody has a sort of idiosyncrasy or has some peculiar way of doing things or thinking things. Schizophrenia is an involvement of a person in illness. There is abnormalities of behavior. There are abnormalities of thinking. There are abnormalities of feeling. There are abnormalities of the way people move across a room. There are peculiarities in what people perceive. There seems to be a very global impairment of what we think of as the highest psychological functions, the most intricate, sophisticated, complex psychological functions that people have.
What happens is you've got a healthy, or can have a relatively healthy young adult, or a young person turning into adulthood, who begins to go into a psychosis, withdraws from the people who he or she loves, and is distant from those people. At the same time, that individual, that child, is clearly in enormous emotional pain, psychological pain, can't interact with people, and has a disease which can last for years.
I don't know, you just try hard up after school. You should have been going. Try to get a ball score.
In order to understand the kinds of patients that we have on this ward, you've got to remember that schizophrenia breaks down into the rule of quarters. A quarter of people who get the disease will get well and not get sick again. Another quarter will get relatively well on medication and be able to live independently. A third quarter will be able to live in a group facility on medication, and the other quarter will do very poorly. 10% of the people, in fact, will suicide within 10 years, and 15% won't respond to medication at all. Are you going to be going home this weekend? You are. People with chronic schizophrenia, when they've had the disease for more than a few years, almost certainly have some brain damage from the disease. The same kind of chemical and physical processes that cause the disease also cause damage to the brain. It's sad because you have people who look normal for the first 15, 17, or 20 years of their lives, and then you have this devastating illness, so that there is kind of a disconnect between the way they start their lives and the way many of them spend the rest of their lives.